listen.
Yeah.
First of all, this is the big issue. That's why it comes back to religion, because for the Jews, that site. Now I don't know. I think so. It's not the Dome of the Rock. I think it's in around that area, the same area. For the Jews, Triller, man, come on, let me speak, bro.
Yeah. I'm just saying. You said what it's called. So
what I'm saying is this. Listen, for the Jews, the holiest site for the Jews, their Mecca, Medina, their Harminder Sahib, okay, is that area where the Dome of the Haram al-Sharif is, okay? Now, this is why I say that this is an underlying religious problem between all three major religions. That is not just political. Because if, let's say all these three religions were mature, and if they could play nice with each other, you know what they would have done? They would have done what happened in the Golden Temple, okay? Do you know what happened to the Golden Temple in the 18th, 17th century? So the Hindus, what they had done is they installed a Hindu idol inside the Sikh holy site, okay? And now when the Sikhs, they took control, they asked that the Hindus relocate that idol to the Hindu temple. So have you been to Harminder Sahib, Triller? Have you visited the Golden Temple?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah. So if you walk
many times, yeah.
If you walk 4 or 5 blocks, right next door, there's a Hindu temple. It's a Durga temple, okay? It's a Durga temple right next door, and it even has like a very similar structure to Harminder Sahib. And the Sikhs helped the Hindus build it, but they just moved that idol into the Hindu temple. So this is what you call mature religions solving their issues in a mature way. What we're dealing with are three major religions. Wait up. We're dealing with 3 major religions who are not mature. They each believe that the other side is going to burn in hell for eternity.
Mature. They're more developed than
No. They're not. They're not much. No.
They have more money than us.
They
have been around longer than us.
Mental maturity.
How dare you try and say they're not mature?
They're not mentally mature. They're not mentally mature.
They are stronger than us. They're stronger than the Sikhs.
That doesn't mean that they're mentally mature.
Sikhs are stronger than
you guys, we gotta go one at a time, bro.
Listen to him, man.
Let Shaka go through. Let Shaka go through. Shaka ain't got to go through. Let Shaka go through real quick.
Just last thing to, I mean, my point is mental maturity. When you have mental maturity, then you can get things solved in a rational manner. But if you're not mentally mature, if you think that the other side is going to burn in hell for eternity, then you can do whatever type of violence on the other side, because hey, they're going to burn in hell anyway. So if I drop a bomb on them, it doesn't matter.
This is the psychology. Mental maturity with the Sikhs, all right, was when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, was still here on this planet, okay? After that, right, their mental maturity dropped from there, okay? You might be able to debate when it comes to like Maharaja Ranjit Singh's era, there was still some sort of mental maturity.
Talk about theology, bro. Theology. I'm not talking about personalities.
The fact is, dude, I'm trying to relate this to current times, because warfare has changed, politics has changed, and the times have changed, right? So look at 1984 when our own people.
You're violent out. You're on some substance.
Shaka, 1 second, right? When it comes to 1984, when our own people, I know, but I'm trying to address it to my man, when our own people got attacked, you get me, right? Who are you going to stand for? You're going to stand for your own people, aren't you? Are you going to stand for the Hindus who are attacking, you get me, the government who are attacking, the freaking Punjabis, the Sikhs, or are you going to stand for the Hindus who are attacking the Sikhs? Who are you going to stand for? Because they're winning.
Whoever who's right, whoever is just.
Who's right? Who's right between the Sikhs and the Hindus? Between the Sikhs and the government, who's right?
So if the Sikhs are doing let's say the Sikhs are doing some crazy shit, they're raping. Triller, do you even know about Sikhi, man? We don't believe in this.
Know about Sikhi, bro. I'm asking you a direct fucking question, bro. I want a yes or no answer, bro. Who are you standing for? The Sikhs?
I want to stand for anyone who's just. Whoever has justice.
All right. So who are you standing for? The Sikhs or the Hindus?
The ones
in 1984. In 1984, in that particular scenario, who are you standing for?
The Sikhs.
Bindrawale, or are you standing for the government?
No, I don't stand with Bindrawale. He's a dumbass. He fucked.
So you stand for the government. So therefore, that makes you a Hindu. Okay, that's fine. We got that clear. We got that clear.
Yeah.
We got that clear. No problem. We got that clear.
Trilla, no. Can I jump in? Let me jump in real quick. Make a point, because Trilla, you got to stand for who's right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So like, listen.
Yeah.
So
we
when
know that the
listen.
minority are right.
No. Listen. So when in Myanmar, when there's a group of Buddhists that are doing atrocities to Muslims, because some of those Muslims came and they started raping Buddhist nuns. You know what I'm saying? This has been a conflict that's been going back and forth. I can't justly stand with those Buddhists.
This man
can't do it.
This man
can't do it.
Our biggest preacher of Sikhism,
wrong.
He's just gone against our biggest preacher of Sikhism, bro. Yeah, one of our biggest heroes. Yeah, in Sikhism. Yeah, he's gone against him. Yeah, so therefore that shows his politics, his stance on politics when it comes down to it.
Just poor India. That's
only
it.
goes for the powerful. He doesn't go for the people.
No, I don't go for Bhindranwale because he entered a holy shrine with machine guns.
Very clear today. You support the Indian national government. That's who you support.
6 people.
You do not
How do
support
I
the
get more
Punjabi,
people?
Sikh people.
Okay, Jenn, can I answer?
Jen, can I chat,
Just
please?
mute Triller, man. This guy's wild now. Listen.
All right, Let Shaka go.
Mute me. Go fuck yourself about go mute me, man.
Oh, Triller, bro. Chill out, Triller, bro.
I don't support anyone who enters.
How dare you tell her what to do?
Hold on.
You do what you want to do. You fucking cunt. Go fuck yourself, you little sellout.
Oh my God, yo.
Sorry, Jen. I'll be quiet.
Yo, y'all gotta chill, man. We're not doing this. I'm not doing this wild shit. Hold on. I got people in the back.
Let Rajan. So I don't support anyone entering
Give me
into a
1
temple.
second, Mr. Pelu. I'll bring you right back through. And I want Shaka to come through too.
Yeah, I don't support anyone coming into a temple with machine guns and AK-47s and trying to, make demands. I don't support that. I can go to. Does that mean I can go to any Sikh temple with 100 machine guns and say, okay, now you guys got to listen to me? That's wrong. If you do that, that's wrong. So I'm going to criticize Bhindranwale for acting like an idiot, going into Harminder Sahib, the most holiest place for Sikhs, with AK-47s and heavy artillery and machine guns. The fuck are you doing?
Can I say, because I really can't stay on you. Look, this situation is about Palestine, and Israel. Now, the thing is, this situation about Harminder Sahib, my mum, my brother, some of my relatives disagreed with Bhindranwale. It doesn't mean you agree with the storming of the Golden Temple. This narrative that you have to support Bhindranwale, otherwise you're with the Indian government, is stupid. Because half my family doesn't support Bhindranwale.
Thank you,
They support the Sikhs that were massacred and the fact that they were persecuted. This is like a black and white kind of thinking. It's a bit like people say you have to support Hamas and Hezbollah if you support Palestine. No, you don't. You can support the Palestinians and still condemn Hamas and Hezbollah. Yeah, so Triller, I know you're getting passionate. Yeah, it's a passionate subject, but don't make it simplistic that people that don't support Bhindranwale are then traitors, because then you're calling half my family traitors.
But Raj, let me just respond to you on this note. Yeah, when it comes down to Bhindranwale, he's been misunderstood by so many people. Right?
I know, but this
he was one of our biggest bachars. He was one of, you support Jugraj Singh,
hold on 1 minute.
You like Jugraj, yeah?
Jugraj was Bhindranwale.
Truly, bro, you gotta let him go through,
bro. Just chill out for 2 minutes, yeah? What I'm saying to you, you know that I'm a pro-Palestini, yeah? But I can understand why other Sikhs with differing views will see him as problematic, including people in my family. That doesn't mean they're not Sikhs or they're traitors. They just have a different viewpoint. So Raindrop's viewpoint is that he supports the Sikhs, but he didn't support Bhindranwale's going into the Golden Temple. And that's a legitimate view to have. You can't then throw around, you're a Hindu, you're a traitor. Now go back to the Palestinian and the Israeli thing, because when you keep on diverting it back to the Sikh thing, it gets very messy, because it's very volatile. So try and keep it on the
similar concept. I'm just trying to show.
I know, but you're getting very. Look, I understand why you're upset, because I get upset about the 1984 thing, but you have to look at it logically. Not all Sikhs agreed with Bhindranwale. If they did, they wouldn't have stormed the Golden Temple.
Bro, it's propaganda. Raj, you know
I'm not saying it's propaganda. I'm not saying it's not. I've heard loads of stuff that is propaganda, and I've said to my mum, I said to my friend,
have you listened to his speeches, dude? He was our biggest supporter.
No, but you're going around in circles. This is not about.
Let's go back to the Palestine.
Another Sikh tell me Bhindranwale was just bullshit. Get me?
Oh my God, man! But you're not. If a Sikh wants to say, yeah, Bhindranwala is XYZ, he's allowed to say it, yeah. It doesn't mean he's a traitor if he doesn't support Bhindranwala. When he is a traitor, when he goes against the gurus, yeah.
Yes.
That's it. He's not. He can have his view. But Bhindranwala is a man.
Did Bhindranwala go against the gurus?
He defended our
holiest place.
I don't want to talk about this because the thing is,
I know you don't, but he defended our holiest place.
But you're derailing a good conversation. You're derailing a good conversation about Palestine and Israel, and you keep on pushing it back to Amritsar and Bhindranwala. No one cares.
Yeah, because it's a similar thing.
Very similar. I know that.
He has drank some Johnny.
No.
They attacked a holy Muslim place, right? And they went to war because of it.
Raj, thank you very much for clearing the air and making it.
Thank you. Yeah. And big up to Young Kings for coming.
We keep the
King, I don't mean to piss you off, bro. But when it comes down to it, bro, I look at the similarities, yeah.
I know, but everyone knows the similar. Right, so this is the problem, yeah.
And they attack the holy shrine of Sikhs, yeah. People are gonna fight,
bro. Come on.
But we know this similarity. When you're arguing with Raindrop,
let's focus on the same thing.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to go in 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to go in 2 minutes. But when you're then arguing about this person's a traitor for not supporting Bhindranwala, you're derailing a very good conversation, which no one cares about the whole situation over it, apart from us. Yeah, it's a very specific thing to Sikhs. So let the conversation flow, yeah, and just let you do your thing. Anyway, big up to Jenn Wallis. I'm off.
Big up. Look, big up, Raj. Thanks for coming on. Look, at the end of the day, religion and politics are two things. If you mix religion and politics, no matter what religion, it could be Sikhism. I've seen it happen with Sikhs, where Sikhs want to make like a religious, mixture with their politics, and it's a shit show for the Sikhs. I've seen Buddhists do it, the Hindus, when the Hindus do it.
Why did you let RS sit in? Because he's going to talk bad shit.
Big up RS Sid, man. Big up Sipaji. At the end of the day, if you mix any religion with politics, you're going to have a shit show. The Christians realized this 500 years ago. It's going to take time for the Muslims to realize this too. They're going to realize it, okay? Saddam Hussein realized it.
Let me say my point now.
Let's Shaka go through because he's been waiting patiently for real.
All right, cool. Thank you. What I want to say is this, innit? If I'm going to be honest, and when I look at this from a point of view of an African brother, innit? Like, out of Israel and Palestine, which people actually do take in Africans and actually like do a betterment for African people? Israel or Palestine? Palestine has treated Ethiopian Jews terrible for the past years, isn't it? You get me? So it's not my place for me to be fucking showing love to Palestine, because Palestine has never shown love to Ethiopians or other African brothers who wanted to work in them areas, innit? You get me? So of course I can't. You get me? That's my point, innit? Like, there's a lot of African Jews who want to work in them regions, but a lot of them are treated like shit. You get me? Treated like shit.
By Israel, by the way, not Palestine.
Both sides, innit? Both sides don't fuck with Africans. So for me, I say fuck both of them, innit? Like, because the war, yeah, man, it's all based on religion, and a lot of religion ideologies is based on belief systems, innit? Not actual facts. I believe this is a holy war. This is a holy land for me, and I believe this is a holy land for me. Who's actually right? Both of them or none of them? But they're just saying from belief systems written in books, innit? You get me? So all these fucking wars are based on religious aspects and a lot of like, yeah, but a lot of them, like, I follow up on a lot of African brothers, like Somalians or what's it called, or Sudanese people jumping in this thing. I'm like, fam, these both sides don't fuck with Africans. They don't fuck with us, innit? They both be mistreating African brothers for so long, innit? So it's like, I find it weird that African brothers try to jump in and say we want the betterment of these people. These people don't want the betterment of you, man. You feel me? That's my aspect, innit? But yeah, man.
Big up.
Also interesting. Take one.
Are you human rights?
Yeah, but where's your passion for the Chinese Uyghurs?
Where's your pride? Where's your pride as a human being?
Trailer. Let me speak to Trailer for a minute.
Oh, that's gonna go
too pagala, bro.
Triple, whatever
you're a sellout, man.
You know nothing about Sikhism, and you're talking about something else.
I don't care if I know nothing about Sikhism. I know about pride. Alright, I know about my people. Okay.
What is the cause? What was the
Alright, what the fuck do you know? You don't know about money.
Alright, bro. Alright, listen. We're gonna
intelligently.
I told you.
I'm saying it's gone to a different topic now.
Yeah, sorry. Look,
no, 1 minute. I will link it to Israel.
Yeah, just focus on Israel because the other people won't understand our conversation about.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. Yeah, trailer. You are saying that you want Khalistan. What is wrong for Israel?
I didn't say I want Khalistan, mate. I'm saying recognize oppression.
Let me finish. It is exactly the way the Sikh are asking for Khalistan, independent state. Israel is doing the same thing. So what's the difference?
A lot is a difference, by the way. A lot is a difference.
The difference is Israel.
Okay, please advise me. Yeah,
Pakistan.
no, not really, not you. The other brother who's telling. Please tell me the difference.
Israel is Pakistan. That's the difference. You're looking at it in the wrong way. Yeah. The Palestinians are the Sikhs. The Palestinians are the Punjab. What the fuck don't you understand about what I'm trying to say to you?
Imagine they kick the Sikhs out, and then they start bringing mass migration of Muslims from other areas. Yeah, and they tell you, oh, this is no longer your land. This is my land, based on text written 1,000 years ago, or let's say it's a hadith. Yeah, and they say, oh, the Sikhs, everyone get out, give me the keys to your house. Yeah, they start bringing Muslims from Bosnia and all over the world,
America, South America, and all that.
Yeah. This is what we're talking about. There's a completely different thing.
Okay, can I say something? Sorry, whom am I speaking to? Sorry, intelligent. Sorry,
what?
Method. Okay, better. I'll tell you something. What the reality of this? Yeah, when the land was given, 20% was given to Israelis, which is a fact now. Yeah, I'm going to tell the truth.
Who gave it?
80% was given to the Palestinians.
Who gave it? Who gave the land? Was given.
British,
who gave it?
The British mandate. The British.
Yeah. Let me just finish what I need to say. Nah? But what happened down the line is that the Israelis, what they decided to do is that they started to buy the land from the Palestinians, because the Palestinians had the caliph there, and then they said, okay, we lost this place here now. They started selling the land. And this is historically proven. I can give you the book. Read it 100 pages. You will explain. You will understand it. But to this day, 1 minute, my friend, 1 minute. It came to the stage that the Palestine owned 22%, Israel owned the rest. The Palestinians said, okay, let's make a treaty that this 22% of the land belongs to us. They said, no. Today, Palestine is actually been misused, everything. Yeah, they only own 12%. 12% of the property which they were given 80%, my friend. But now the other way around, they sold it for money.
Okay, so I'm confused. So you're saying
whom is to be blamed? Sorry, yeah, please.
Was sold. You're saying they occupied the other 80% through what financial means?
Yeah.
So you're saying that not other way around. So there's no settlement expansions, that doesn't exist.
Yes, Sid, that's not fully true, because there is expansion.
Let me finish. Rendro, whatever I say, I will give you the proof of it. So only if you can give the reasoning, I will only talk when I know the facts.
So Sid,
there was no caliph, by the way. I don't know what caliph you were talking about.
I have to agree with Mess a little bit. So look, it was so Jerusalem, areas in Jerusalem were bought, but a lot of the stuff in the West Bank, that's mostly expansion. There's and I'll tell you why they're doing that. They're doing that as a pressure tactic to get the Palestinians onto the table and to finalize a deal. Because I think this happened in the 1950s or 60s. Israel was giving a very good deal to the Palestinian Authority. But the problem comes, again, is that the Palestinians, they said, no, we're not going to take the deal. It was a very good deal. It was an excellent...
What was the deal?
It was about, like, I think the borders were like the 1960s.
No, don't think. Only talk to me what you know.
It was based on the 1960s borders, okay, that they were going to finalize. They're going to say half of Jerusalem is with Palestine, half of Jerusalem is with Israel.
Raindrop, you are the weakest link. Keep quiet. Can I speak to the other person?
Mad. Fucking hell, man. But can you give us the proof of your claims? Because you said you can give us proof.
There was no caliph. That's the problem.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
I want to hear his proof in it, because he made a claim that he's got proof for this information.
Yes, exactly.
Can you give us the proof?
What I will do is this, yeah. Let me just explain a little bit that I know.
The problem the Balfour Declaration wanted to give rights to the Jewish settlers although not trying to basically impede Palestinian rights. So the Balfour Declaration is literally the problem, because they tried to please both sides. And when they saw there was mass migration coming in, it started in the thousands, then the tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands of coming in. So the Arabs felt very threatened, and that's hence you have the Hajim al-Husseini,
what's the name again?
Al-Husseini.
Al-Husseini, who went to side with the Nazis, because the whole idea of Israel existed way before the World War II. A lot of people mistake thinking that Israel existed after the Theodor Herzl, the Austro-Hungarian philosopher, he came up with the idea of Israel ages ago, way before, because Europeans.
1896.
Yeah, exactly. It was 18. Yeah, exactly. And then he was not even him who actually created the idea. It was someone before him.
He passed away in 1923.
Exactly. And then they saw the persecution around it for the Jews all around the world, and there was even
they were given a land in East Africa.
Yes, exactly.
And they decided not to take that because there is another
Kenya,
group who said, no, we want to have the land which belongs to us, which was given to our forefathers. Please carry on, Mary.
Yeah, look, it wasn't given like to them because it's obviously holy. It's a holy land. They wanted Israel. There was, I think, Kenya was proposed. I think Argentina as well, or maybe Madagascar as well. Other like several locations. But Israel did not just exist after World War II. This is what happened. The British took over, but they didn't know how to handle it. And then hence they gave it to the UN, and the UN just left it. And then Israel, after the defeat of I think it was 1947, can't remember which date it was, they declared Israel to become a state. Then the Arabs invaded.
I think 1949. But
yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah. Something. Yeah. And then the other Arabs invaded. But it's just been a shit show from the start. The way the British handled it was a joke, basically, and that's where the problem stems.
Yeah,
I agree with you, but I don't really blame the British. Look, you got to understand something. I don't really blame governments. I blame the people.
What do you mean you don't blame the British? What do you mean you don't blame the British? You don't blame the British for the 1947 partition of India and Pakistan. That was a massacre of millions of people, the biggest land migration of people. You don't blame the British for that?
No.
You're fucking insane.
Can I tell you why? Okay, can I tell you why? Can I say why? At the end of the day, the Sikhs, the Hindus, and the Muslims are the ones to blame because they're the dumbasses killing each other. The white man didn't get this.
You're a fucking idiot. It was orchestrated by the British. It was orchestrated by the British.
No, the British did not give the Sikh and the Hindu or Muslim a sword to kill each other.
You know what you are? You're an agent. You're an agent. We know this now. You're a fucking agent. You're a Hindu agent.
Oh my
God.
He is. He's a Hindu agent. Chill, guys.
He's a Hindu agent. That's who he is.
I'm blaming the
Hindus. You can't even blame the British government for dividing.
All right, listen. I'm gonna need everybody to stop yelling. You know, I respect all you guys. I want everybody to have their say, but we're not gonna do this wild.
Can I explain why? Sorry, can I explain?
You know, I got respect for all y'all, but let's just start with all this.
So, Jen, can I explain?
Keep it chill.
I'm sorry. Can I explain, Jen, why I said what I said? At the end of the day, if I as an individual, if I'm a Hindu or a Sikh or a Muslim, am stupid enough to take a sword and attack my neighbor because he's a Hindu or a Muslim or Sikh, I'm not going to blame the fucking British. I'm going to blame myself because I was the asshole who had to go and do that type of heinous action. Blaming the boogeyman, blaming the third party, the British, it's a very easy thing to do. When at the end of the day, you know the people on the ground are assholes. And then
Can I respond? Okay, cool. If they're not assholes, they're not attacking the neighbors. We're talking about a line of miles and miles and miles of people, yeah? All right? Of fucking hundreds of thousands of people, yeah? Going from one part of the land to another, the biggest land migration ever recorded in history, yeah? Devised by the British government, yeah? Orchestrated by the British government, and you're trying to say the British government are not to blame for thousands or hundreds of thousands of people clashing with each other. Yeah, that's the fault of the people. Yeah, who had to clash with them. You're a fucking sellout, mate.
I mean, can I just say something as well?
Right.
The Sikhs lost one of their holiest shrines in Pakistan because of the British. Because of the British, they gave away one of the holiest Sikh sites. Now it's in Pakistan. And then why do you think?
Let me speak to you. Let me speak to you because you sound more sensible. If you're a Sikh and you go kill a Muslim, is that the British person's fault or is it the Sikh's fault?
No, of course not. Yeah,
that's what I'm blaming the people. Look, there's a famous.
Hold on, I want to have
they set the ground for this to happen.
Look, there's a famous politician. There's a Muslim politician in India. Okay, his name is Farooq. I'm forgetting. He's a very famous politician. His name is Farooq, and he said this: the people deserve the politicians they get because people in India were complaining about corruption, and he said, look, you people are corrupt. That's why you elect corrupt politicians.
Yeah,
and this is the point I'm trying to say.
I agree with you.
If you as an individual can hurt your neighbor because he's a different religion, then I'm not going to blame the British. I'm going to blame you. I'm going to blame the individual.
You're blaming the people for what the British devised. Yeah,
the British did not.
It was going to happen.
It's simple. It's simple to create these, you know, these boogeymen. Oh yeah,
we're not saying they're directly responsible, but they are responsible for their things. So, for example, like Rwanda happened because of the Belgians.
Wait, man, let me get to there.
Because people were stupid enough to kill each other because of their nose size.
You know what I'm saying? He's blaming people for what governments devised.
Blame people. People are
guys. Let each other go, please. Hold on. All right.
Listen, Raindrop. Okay. Do you know about the concept? Please let this be a Q&A in it. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, then I'm going to get to my point. So bear with me. Do you know about the thing about divide and conquer?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know the concept of what's it called? When two brothers fight and a stranger always comes and takes over the land and gains power. This is the same concept in it. Anytime any European gets involved in these relations, they cause division. They supply the weapons, they supply the mentality of, if you guys go to war, we'll support your side, innit? We'll support your side, and then, you know, because your side are the best. So a lot of people, every time Europe got involved in either Indian relations or African relations, they're always, even though it's the people that are killing each other, who's supplying us the guns and the mindset and a lot of the fucking wars, who's supporting that shit? You get me? It's always either UK or any UN like fucking European thing in it. So them man ain't innocent blood, but them man benefit from wars.
I agree.
I really can't stay here. I'm getting frustrated as I'm listening here, so I have to keep it jumping on. So look, people are misunderstanding what Raindrop is saying. What I hear from what he's saying is that yes, the British are to blame for the lines being drawn up. All right, so let me finish what I believe. For the lines being drawn up, which have now caused issues today. So the Punjab was cutting off, Kashmir was cutting off, half of India was over there, half of Bangladesh was over there, and those issues cause issues later on. What I believe is the issue here is that you can't take responsibility also away from the people killing each other. When your land's being split, the British are not telling you to then murder your neighbor. What happened So let me finish. What happened in the partition was this: neighbors that had lived with each other for thousands of years, friends, I've heard stories. The next day after the partition, were burning and killing each other. You cannot say that the white man meant they didn't do that. Otherwise, you're saying
Thank you. This is my fucking point.
Otherwise, you're saying these Indians are savages, that they can't control their own behavior.
We're talking about the organization of the biggest land migration in history.
They are great. No one's denying.
They stirred up this problem.
No one's denying that. No one's denying they caused. No one's denying. Yeah, which I'm not. The way they divided.
I'm saying we're stupid enough to kill each other.
The way they divided it.
Now we're blaming the British for our stupidity.
Please,
we're talking about the land migration. The land migration.
I need to go, because it's the only reason I'm jumping, because it's getting frustrating, because I keep hearing it keeps derailing some stuff.
You don't need to go anywhere. You know you can stay. You don't need to go anywhere.
Go, Roger. Say what you got to say, Roger.
Yeah.
So the point is, this narrative that the big white man put these things and the little brown man then started killing each other that had no responsibility for their own action is actually kind of racist, because what you're trying to say is that these little let me listen. What they're trying, what this kind of narrative is this is that us Indians couldn't control our own savage kind of impulse, and as soon as we was split, shut your mouth.
Are you fucking stupid? Are you fucking stupid? Don't tell me to shut my mouth, innit? Yeah, because you're fucking gumming it. You jump on, trying to make a point, and you make a fucking invalid point. Who is to blame for the fucking biggest fucking land migration in history? Who is to blame? Who is to blame? Who is to fucking blame? Speaking.
Let's be grown, man.
Yo, listen, we're not going to do this, you guys. Please.
Guys, come on, man.
And the guy starts screaming, idiot, and all this.
Speak English.
We're all grown.
Biggest land migration in history. Fair enough. Yeah, the biggest land migration in history,
This guy cannot.
Yeah, but this ain't your show.
I was mid-sentence.
This ain't your show, Raj.
You gotta let him finish, bro. Let everyone finish their thought, please.
Let's be grown.
I was mid-sentence.
It doesn't take half a century.
I was mid-sentence, Padida.
Yeah, I know. It took fucking half a year to get there.
Shut your mouth, Ganjar.
Go on. No, don't tell me to shut my mouth, boy. Come on. Come on, boy.
Okay, Pootie Daz, let's talk like freaking adults.
Just cannot let someone finish their sentence here. I've said
you can't ever finish a sentence.
Oh
That's your
God,
fucking
man,
point.
You can't ever stop drinking.
Within 35 seconds. Why do you go have a drink? You might be a fucking lot more nicer. You might be a respectful person. I'm a lot more respectful than you. Look at you sober. What's your excuse? You're sober. You don't my bed. You're trying to condone the massacre of people. You're trying to condone.
Let's stop all this noise.
Yeah, please.
All right, I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna put we're gonna do it like this then.
Guys, calm down.
If we can't like speak as normal people, I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna let Raj go, and then I'm gonna let Trilla refute. Okay?
Can I?
So let me get my timer.
Okay.
Like a freaking child. 2 minutes.
Do that, Jen. I don't think we should do that, Jen. That's not. I don't think we should do that, Jen, because I think everybody should everybody should if you come on the show.
Ahead, all right.
Well, so
we're just gonna do it like this, Mr. Pela. 2 minutes.
I'm
going
to
be
going over this year because what I'm trying to say is this year. I condemn the British for doing the partition of India the way they did it. They didn't think about anything about the problems where religious sites were, where people would migrate over. They literally partitioned, and a couple of days later, they expected people to move. Yeah. And what's going to happen from that? You're going to have mayhem. There's no doubt about it. There's going to be mayhem. People are going to be trampled. People are going to be thinking. There was no thought for what the consequence is going to be. And the British, I condemn them for that outright. But the people on the ground that lived with each other for thousands of years, suddenly in one day starting to hack each other and kill each other, which resulted in 1 million people's death. Yeah, you cannot take responsibility away from the people that were doing it to each other as well. Otherwise, what you're saying is that those people that killed each other are children, that they have no sense of responsibility for their own actions. You can condemn the British, but you have to also condemn the people that were killing each other. And they did some of the most disgusting things. They burnt each other on trains. They hacked each other. They raped each other. And that was everybody, Muslims, Sikhs, and Hindus. And I condemn the people that did that. My mum tells me stories of what my grandma saw. She saw bodies going down the river, down the river, just dead bodies everywhere. And so this narrative that, the big bad British is all of their fault. Oh, the Indians can't take no responsibility. No, it is the British fault, but the Indians also have to take responsibility for killing each other when the partition happened. What is unreasonable about that?
That's what I'm trying to say. Look, at the end of the day, Master Pala saying.
So, Miso, is that unreasonable? Because you seem like a pretty reasonable dude. I'm asking Miso. Now, Miso, is that unreasonable?
No, of course. No. You made a good point. Okay. I agree. But let me just say one thing, because I'm going to go in a bit, because I can make space because there's only 6 people.
Miso, you stay on. You're one of the sensible ones. So
that's 10 seconds. Are you done?
I was just going to say, for example, if you look at the problem with the Kurds, is the reason because of the British not granting them any lands. Until this day, in the conflict you have in Turkey, Iraq, Syria, and Iran, the Kurds have big problems. Because of that whole, they were not granted any land. So we're saying.
All right, so I'm. Okay,
can I speak? Sorry, go ahead.
All right, so I'm trying to let these two go. So Trilla, you got 2 minutes, bro. Go for it.
I appreciate that, Jen. All right, cool. Firstly, all I can say is, how dare you, right? Try to basically put the Sikhs, in the same mind frame as certain tyrannical people who want to burn people on trains and everything else. We weren't doing that.
Yes, we did.
Hold on, don't interrupt me.
No, he got 2 minutes.
Don't you fucking dare interrupt me, you piece of shit. Shut the fuck up. Let me have my 2 minutes.
Easy.
Shut up. All right, let me speak. The fuck? Don't interrupt me. How dare you try to say the Sikhs were doing what you tried to say that we did. We did not do that. However you look at it, the Sikhs did not do the same things that other groups did, to each other. All right. When it came to the lines, right, of the when it comes to the mass migration, the biggest land migration of people, in history, in recorded history, human civilization, all right? We were talking about the fucking Ice Age till now, the biggest land migration of people, moving from one part of the earth to another, all right? We, all right, had to basically endure 2 different sides, conflicting against each other, right? And we, all right, as Sikhs, Muslims, Hindus, and all sorts of different people, had to basically bear the brunt of that. All right, and I feel sorry for the people who were there that were orchestrated by Lord Mountbatten, yeah, who basically made that plan to happen, who didn't orchestrate it very well, all right, because at the end of the day, those lines would never have met. And what happened when those lines met? There was fucking fights after fight, killing, murders, and all sorts of atrocities that happened. And I feel so sorry for you who think that it happened, yeah, because of the people, the innocent people, yeah, that were crossing the borders. It happened because of the orchestrated fucking maneuvers, yeah, made by the fucking people in power who made that happen. How dare you try to insinuate, yeah, it was because of innocent people trying to move, yeah? How dare you?
All right, Trilla.
It was addressing it to me, Raindrop. So
okay, just sorry, Raj. I'm gonna go. So I'm saying big up to everyone. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, big up Miso. I love to
big up Miso, bro.
I wanted Miso on as a sensible one.
Yeah, I'll try and be on more. So thank you for having me on. Thank you.
We need someone smart.
Come back through.
Thank you guys.
We need that.
All right, so who's taking the two? Or is it Raj's two?
So let me just say this here. This such a simplistic narrative is embarrassing. The point is, every group from the Punjab and the Kashmir to these areas, whether they were Sikh, Muslims, or Hindus, they all committed, the small minority that were committing the murders, they were all from different backgrounds, None of them was from one particular group. There are stories of Sikhs committing atrocities, there's stories of Hindus committing atrocities, and there's stories of Muslims committing atrocities. To say that these people that were putting petrol in trains and burning a whole train alive, of kids and women are just innocent individuals that are caught in the crossfire is disgusting, because at the end of the day, Mountbatten didn't put that petrol can in their hand. Yes. Mountbatten didn't put the bullet in the person's head. Did they create a line that caused all these issues? Yes, but did the individuals that actually committed the crimes, should they be held responsible for their actions? Yes, they should have been in prison. By Trilla's logic, they should all be let free because Mountbatten, he's the only person to blame. And I think that is so low IQ and embarrassing that anybody can even think that.
And let me answer, Raj. Look. He said the Sikhs never did anything wrong during the partition. Is he mad? Master Tara Singh, who was one of the biggest leaders, who used to lead the riot crowd to kill Muslims on the train. So our side is not innocent. We did a lot of wrong things. Okay, we cannot just say we're innocent. At the end of the day, the British were wrong to create some borders, but at the end of the day, the people were pricks. They hated each other, and they just needed a fucking excuse to kill each other. If you don't reform the people, then you cannot blame any third party. You cannot blame the British. You can't blame them for the hate between the Sikhs and the Muslims.
It's like blaming the British for the massacre in Bangladesh then. So they created the line for Bangladesh. So by your logic, the 2 million Bangladeshis which were killed by the Pakistani army and 600,000 women raped was because the British. Now the British can be blamed.
I want my 2 minutes. I need 2 minutes.
So 1 minute. So the British can be blamed for creating the line of Bangladesh where they situated it. But the individuals committing the crime, on the ground have to be held accountable as criminals.
You both had your 2 minutes, okay?
No, I didn't get 2 minutes.
Yeah, to be fair, Raj's 2 minutes is up. So who wants the next two?
Raindrop didn't get any 2 minutes.
Bro, Raindrop, you've been adding on to his 2 minutes, bro.
I disagreed with him. I disagreed with him. That's it. Because Raj makes a lot of sense.
You agree with everything. Go on.
Yeah, all right, big men. Who's taking the next 2 minutes, man?
Me. I just want to say something. Look, at the end of the day, it's easy to blame someone else,
all right.
But it's hard to
Raindrop, then Shaka. Yeah, all right, exactly. Raindrop, you got 2, and then Shaka.
Thank you, Jen. At the end of the day, it's very easy to blame someone else, but it's very hard to look within and to look at one's faults and to understand, okay, these are my mistakes. These are my community's mistakes. So as from the Sikh community, we made a lot of stupid mistakes. We did a lot of crimes against Muslims during the partition of 1947. We weren't innocent. Similarly, the Muslims did a lot of crimes too. They weren't fully innocent. At the end of the day, because of hatred within these two communities, within the Hindus too. So the Hindus, the Muslims, the Sikhs, they're all killing each other, not because the white man made them do it, because they themselves were retarded enough to hate each other and kill each other. Now, the same thing is happening in the Middle East. You have Arabs, you have different, groups of Arabs, and they all hate each other. That's not the white man created this hatred. This is them using that hatred for their own agenda. Similarly with Rwanda, the Hutus and the Tutsis, if they were stupid enough to kill each other just because one side nose was bigger than the other side, that was the main way they differentiated the Hutus and the Tutsis, whose nose is longer. So if the people are stupid enough to kill each other based on the size of their nose, you have to blame the people and not blame the third party for everything. The third party could be wrong, but I'm not going to blame the third party for everything if we ourselves are deficient. Thank you. Done.
All right, cool. Go on. Go on, King. Go on, King.
All right, so you good? You concede your 30 seconds?
Yeah, you're done. You're done. Go on, King.
All right, cool. Go ahead, Chuck.
I want to be as honest as I can, innit? All that Europeans taking guilt in this bullshit is nonsense, innit? First of all, the divide and conquer thing worked in their benefit because look at this. After the wars and all that fucking massacre was happening between clans in a nation, the Europeans came over, took over, and fucking controlled the people. You get me? So saying this whole thing of like, oh, the third party can't be held to the same account as the fucking people is nonsense, because them same third parties, the fucking massacre, come on, man, what the fuck? Especially, okay, I'm gonna come from an African point of view, then I'm not Indian, I can't speak on that behalf, innit? But let's say, for example, the Tutsis and the whole Rwanda war, innit? But what's giving those people guns? You think a village boy, the age of 12, can fucking make an AK-47? No, they were having some other social people coming in and giving them weapons, innit? Probably, let's say, Europeans who were giving us weapons, alcohol, and other drugs to fuck our mind up to cause these wars. When the wars would happen and wars would finish, the Europeans would come in at the saviors, gain land, diamonds, and other minerals, and fucking control the region, innit? You get me? So these fucking third parties are actually even worse, because most of those wars that they fucking created was for the purpose of this, innit? Divide, conquer, and take over. You get me? That's why I say fuck the colonizer and fuck the Europeans, innit? You get me? And the whole thing of, oh, if you don't like the third party, then you're racist. What the fuck? Well, that's nonsense, man. But yeah.
Okay. Can I answer?
No, you can't. No, you can't. It's my fucking turn.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Why are you in that gussa haga, yeah?
No. Go, bro. We've got 2 minutes.
No. Don't do this.
Don't do this.
All right, come on. We were on a good back and forth. We were on a good 2 minutes. Who's taking the next 2 minutes?
Shaka had 2 minutes. No, don't do it. Don't try and assassinate my character like you.
Bro, let's stop. We was on a good. Yeah, he's got literally 28 seconds left.
Yeah, but the guy's telling you effing.
No, don't try to assassinate people's character on everyone's show. All right, that's what you do on your show.
Basically,
all right, you just trying to put them. All right, don't worry, mate. You're gonna get yours too. You're gonna get yours too, don't worry, mate. You're gonna get your little 2 minutes too.
All right,
let Shaka finish, bro. Let him finish.
Sorry, Shaka.
I was about to say my thing, innit? And another grown ass man is getting offended because I said fuck the European. Same Europeans who don't give a fuck about your people.
I said
anyway.
All right, chill.
My finishing point is this, innit? That third party, they fucking created a structure to fuck up a lot of our civilizations and to take over, innit? You get me? It's been a structure they've been creating for time, innit? So of course that third party is as dangerous or even worse than our fuckers. Them fuckers use intelligence, innit? They know, make these people fight and whatever. We take over and done, innit? But yeah, thank you very much for listening. Bye.
All right, bro, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Who's taking the next 2 without it being a big
I wouldn't mind the other guy, the other black guy on the panel as well, talking before me. You want to say something, bro?
Mr. Pelu, let Mr. Pelu go through. All right, go through, Mr. Pelu.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, hi everybody. I don't know. Let me jump in. I'm gonna speak about the African situation. Me myself too. I'm an African too, and I actually come from a war zone. I was born in a war zone. I was born in Sierra Leone during the war times. I mean, I left right before the war, but we left because the situation was about to become a war. My mom. She was actually working in the central bank of Sierra Leone, and she seen the accounts, and she was like, "Hey, it's about to crash in a second." So we just left, and then they crashed, and then the all war broke out. So, but I'm gonna tell you from my personal experience, I can tell you for a fact that a lot of the problems in Africa, I don't know everyone. I'm not an expert in every country, but I can tell you my country, Sierra Leone, the problems in Sierra Leone have nothing to do with no Europeans. It has nothing to do with it. is the Africans themselves are killing each other. They were fighting each other. They destroyed their own country a lot of times. So I get what the originator was saying, because you can't say is the Europeans doing this, and that, because you taking the blame away from people and you keeping people in a savage mentality. Like, you have to admit that it's savageness around the world. I'm not saying savageness is only for Europeans or savageness only for Africans or only for Indians. It's savageness around the place, but the only way around it is that everybody has to say no to savagery. We all have to say no to savagery in every way savagery comes. We have to say no to religious violence, say no to sectarian violence, say no to racial violence. Everybody is responsible. Every man, woman, and child is responsible. Well, not child got to grow up, but still, every person, every man, woman is responsible for themselves and to raise their children to counteract these things. And we can't make no excuses for anybody. Because I know for a fact, in my country, Sierra Leone, the way they left us, it was better. I mean, they left us in 60 years. Sierra Leone was way better in 1961. We got independent than it is now. And it's pure and simple. The Africans were something, because in my country we never even got colonized by Africans. We actually got colonized by other blacks. Who, as a matter of fact, my whole family used to be slaves. I actually come from a slave settlers. My family came from the Caribbean and moved back to Africa in the late 1700s and the 1800s from America and the Caribbean, whatever. So, but even before that, even in Sierra Leone before that, in Sierra Leone, the states before the colonial state emerged in Sierra Leone, the Koyatimi, the state that was there was a complete slave trading state. The entire economy was built around slave trade. So how you gonna say? So we can't always say it's the white man when we have the entire state built upon selling slaves to white people. Like, the Africans themselves were going around selling the slaves. It wasn't the white man came down and crushed the thing. Matter of fact, the white man actually actually started the abolition movement. And I know this for a fact because my whole family was part of the abolitionist struggle. I come from the abolitionists. My family actually fought to end the slave trade. The whole slave trade was going across the whole coast. And the only people actually stopped it were actually the British. The British actually want to stop the slave trade. And you go look for a fact. I know for a fact this happened because I was actually part of it. I'm from Freetown. That's why the capital of my country is called Freetown, because that's where the slaves were built. So everybody has to take responsibility for their side. And even if you want to go back to the Israeli-Palestine situation that we were talking before, even the Israeli-Palestine situation, the one thing I always look at is war videos. I like watching those war videos and war documentaries about the Israel and Palestine. And when you look at the situation, a lot of the situation the Palestinians are suffering now is because of the incompetence of Arab leadership. A lot of people don't want to talk about that. They have incompetent leadership and that's really why they lost most of the wars. And unfortunately, that's what happens. We lose wars. I mean, everybody has to take responsibility. Everybody has to be competent. If you lose wars, there's a price to losing wars. You can't win. So everybody has to blame themselves and their own development and look forward and learn from the past. The problem now is in the region over there. They're not learning from their past. They're not learning from what happened before. They're not developing. They just want to hold anger, and it's basically escapism. They want to escape, but you really can't escape from reality.
Thank you. Exactly my point.
All right, cool. So. All right.
That's 2 minutes. Who's next? I truly want to go, man. But
thank you. Thanks for giving me 2 minutes.
Can I go, or you, Trill, or you want to go?
Can I ask you something, Jen?
No, because Trill didn't speak. I want to speak.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't mind. Like, before I speak,
can I ask Jen
before I speak, King wants to ask Jen a question. You know what I mean?
What's up?
After Triller and Raindrop speaks, is it possible I can have a converse with Mr. Pillar? As I'm quite.
And me, unfortunately, as well. And me as well.
No, I said Mr. Pillar. I didn't say I want you to converse with him because it's African.
Afterwards, 100%. I'm just trying to get the panel in a calm, cool. Kind of state. We could.
So let me have my word as well for a minute as well.
Hey, let me say one thing.
No. It's my turn to talk, man. It's my turn to talk. You got 2 minutes.
I said no.
You get 2 minutes after me. Yeah,
you're not the owner of the channel, Jen. Wallis.
It doesn't matter, mate. We're going by time frame. You get 2 minutes after me. All right. If you don't like it, you can fuck off.
If I want 1 minute,
you don't like it, you can fuck off. No,
if I want 1 minute, what's your problem?
It's up to you, mate.
Yeah,
Let me know when I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to talk.
I'm ready football. If I want 1 minute,
no. You should not be wearing the star your entire life. You should should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Bro, you should be a fool. Yeah, Naku ruined you the other day. He ruined you.
Being a sharabi.
He ruined you. He ruined you for the.
I never wore a turban getting dropped.
Lord,
You've done your beastie.
Okay, Raj, we're gonna do it like this. Listen, no, Trilla, hush, stop the zit, please, listen. Raj and Trilla, think of a number between 1 and 20. Yes, I'm really doing this.
Yeah, but Jen, it's my turn.
No, Trilla, think of a goddamn number between 1 and 20. What's your guess?
49.
1 and 20. What, bro?
16,
1 and
16.
I know. I'm not playing the game. It's my turn, Jen. You just do what you gotta do, man.
Whose turn? Oh, that's just what I'm saying.
No,
like,
my turn. It's my turn. I was first. Everyone's had a say. It's my turn next. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, let's Trilla have 2 minutes respectfully, and then we'll pass it to Raj for 2.
All right.
Or 1. If I want 1 minute, I don't know what the problem
That's
is.
fine.
The problem is you got to wait. You're after me. Just wait. You're after me.
If we spend 2 minutes arguing, then we could have been through the time. So let's please.
Thank you. All right.
Lord.
Ready? Set?
Go.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
You're on.
Cool. Thank you, Jen. So look, when it comes down to it, right? Look, there's a massive misconception, all right, when it comes down to Sikhism, okay, and the things, the atrocities that are gone on, right, from 1947 to 1984 till today, all right. The thing is, right, our people have had to subdue a lot of propaganda, right, from the mainstream media in India, okay, portraying Sikhs to be very bad people, okay. I'm gonna make this very simple. That they try to alienate us, yeah, from a lot of other things. The thing is, dude, yeah, we didn't do the things that people have said we've done, okay? When it comes to murders and rapes and pillaging and things like that, that's not what we have done, okay? There may have been a few exceptions. I'm willing to concede that, okay? There may have been a few people that have done some atrocities in the Sikh community, but not the majority, and not on the scale that you're trying to portray it to be. That was never the case, okay? And other communities, I cannot say, all right, but I'm willing to that might have been the majority on that side. You know what I mean? On other sides, for example, right? But not on the Sikh side. I'm not willing to concede that fact, okay? When it comes down to it, dude, yeah, things were orchestrated in a certain manner, like the migration movement, okay? They were made for people to walk in a certain direction at a certain time to have conflict with each other so that these people would have conflict over the next few years, if not decades. It was all orchestrated. The same thing as the partition was orchestrated so that there would be a massive hatred and division between the people living in the separate nations, okay? They wanted conflict between the nations, yeah, that were separated so that they wouldn't have to worry about the nations uniting, the people in that nation that were divided, uniting, and becoming a strong entity to fight against other nations.
Okay.
Can I speak for 2 minutes?
Fuck's sake, raindrop.
Sorry.
No, it's Raj's turn. It's Raj's turn.
Raj, you
want
to
so I might take 1 minute. I don't know. I might take.
Just go and you concede the rest of your time.
But is it okay for Jen if I want to take 1 minute rather than 2 minutes?
You can take. I'm giving you 2. So, you can take however long you need to. But your time is starting now.
Yes, I don't know why people get upset that I want to take 1 minute over 2 minutes. It's not really an issue. So I will say this year, I don't know whether people are listening, but I condemn the British for what they did in the partition of India. It has caused a shit show even till today. The way they carved it up was not only incompetent, it was probably criminal in the sense that it allowed certain lines to be drawn up which had no consideration for any religious sites, any type of cultural problems, any type of ethnic lines or anything. They just drew it up and just let people run from one side to the next with no understanding or even care about the consequences of allowing people to migrate in such numbers in such a short space of time. What we're saying is this, or what I'm saying is this: the British can be held accountable for that, definitely. They might have even schemed for things to get, heated and even worse. But when it comes to the average man on the ground, who then had a neighbor who he lived with, and the next day when they separated and they had the partition, he starts to kill him, or an individual goes to a train and then pours it with petrol and burns everyone alive in there. Those people are not children. They are adults and they should be held accountable for their actions. But any of these British agents, they were not holding their hands when they were doing it. They were not putting the petrol in their hand when they do it. They made that decision, and they should be held accountable, not only in this world, but in the afterlife as well. If you think otherwise, then you think that the Indians are just imbeciles and stupid children that could be manipulated by the big bad white man to do anything they want and order their bidding. Yeah. And if I want to take 1 minute or 2 minutes, I will. Yeah. And I'm off now, Pudida.
Okay, so I want to go. So this is what you call ignorance.
Oh shit, Raj. Oh, he left already. I guess reactionaries in the back.
So I just want to see. So Jen, just
all right, go through, Raindrop. Go through.
So I disagree with Triller that the Sikhs were innocent and we didn't do anything wrong when the partition happened and it was all the British people's fault. Wrong. The Sikhs, the Muslims, and the Hindus were all to blame for the violence that they did upon each other. Not one side was innocent. Okay, from the Sikh side, we had one of the leaders called Tara Singh. On the Muslim side, they had Sikandar Ayat Khan. And these people were instrumental